exploring the historical accuracy of Jesus' life and the Gospels. Welcome back to Soulful Scriptures, where we delve into history's most intriguing topics. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the historical accuracy of Jesus' life and the Gospels. While religious texts often carry profound significance, questions remain about their historical authenticity. Let's dive in. The Gospels as historical documents. The Gospels hold a significant place in the Christian tradition, serving as foundational texts that narrate the life, teachings, and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. However, when assessing their reliability as historical accounts, we must consider several factors. Firstly, the Gospels were written decades after the events they describe, with the earliest Gospel, Mark, believed to have been composed around 70 to 75 AD. This temporal gap raises questions about the accuracy of details, as oral traditions and memories could have evolved over time. Additionally, the Gospels were authored by followers of Jesus who were primarily concerned with conveying spiritual truths and theological messages to their respective communities. This theological intent might have influenced how events were presented, potentially introducing elements of symbolism and narrative adaptation. Scholars employ rigorous historical critical methodologies to assess the Gospel's reliability. They scrutinize factors such as internal consistency, external corroboration from non-biblical sources, and archaeological evidence. While the Gospels contain valuable insights into the socio-cultural context of first-century Palestine, it's important to acknowledge that they were written within a specific religious framework that might have influenced the portrayal of events. Differences among the Gospels in their accounts of the same events further complicate matters. These variations can stem from different perspectives, theological agendas, or the use of oral tradition sources. In conclusion, while the Gospels provide invaluable insight into the life of Jesus and the beliefs of early Christian communities, they are not purely objective historical records. Their theological and spiritual purposes sometimes intersect with historical accuracy, raising questions about the precise nature of certain events and details. As we explore the Gospels, it's important to approach them with a balanced understanding of their dual role as both religious texts and historical documents. Historian or theologian. The Gospels were written several decades after the events they describe, and their primary purpose was to convey religious teachings rather than serve as objective historical records. However, scholars often analyze them using historical methods to extract potential historical kernels. External references to Jesus. Beyond the Gospels, are there any external references to Jesus that corroborate his existence? Historian. Indeed, a few Roman and Jewish historical texts briefly mention Jesus or early Christian communities. Notably, the Jewish historian Josephus and the Roman writer Tacitus provide some references. But these are limited and not detailed biographical accounts. Historical context. Let's discuss the historical context of Jesus' life. How accurately do the Gospels reflect the society and politics of that time? Historian or archaeologist. The Gospels offer insights into the socio-political landscape of first-century Palestine, detailing aspects of daily life and the Roman occupation. However, some events and dialogues might have been shaped to emphasize religious or theological messages. Oral tradition and written transmission. The Gospels were likely transmitted orally before being written down. How might this impact their accuracy? Biblical scholar. Oral tradition can introduce variations over time, but scholars believe the early Christian community would have been dedicated to preserving the core teachings and stories of Jesus. Differences among the Gospels. The variations among the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, shed light on the complex nature of historical accounts and the perspectives of their authors. These differences do not necessarily invalidate the historical value of the Gospels. Rather, they provide valuable insights into the diverse ways in which the life and teachings of Jesus were interpreted and transmitted within different early Christian communities. Firstly, the variations suggest that the Gospel writers had distinct theological, cultural, and even geographical contexts. Each author wrote for a specific audience, aiming to address their concerns and convey particular theological messages. For example, Matthew, writing to a Jewish audience, emphasizes Jesus' fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies, while Luke, writing for a wider Greco-Roman audience, highlights Jesus' universal message. These theological agendas could have influenced how events were presented, potentially leading to differences in details or sequencing. Secondly, the differences in the Gospels may reflect the reliance on oral traditions. Before being written down, the stories of Jesus would have been passed down orally through different communities. This oral transmission could naturally lead to variations as stories were retold and adapted over time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating explorations into history's mysteries.